Hello guys and welcome to Watching Time. Today we're going to review what I think it's a quite interesting watch from Tudor. But even if for myself it's one of my favorites actually, it's a very underrated and non-recognized probably by people among the Tudor watches that are actually on sale. When we talk about Tudor, usually you think about the Black Bay, for example. It's become an emblematic watch from the Tudor line. The Northflag, which is the watch that we're going to discuss today, is the least of them that comes to your mind. And I find this quite intriguing and also interesting, taking into consideration that this is probably one of the unique watches that have developed Tudor with a strange DNA that we're going to discuss later, but that at the same time it's the first step for Tudor to become fully independent and fully, let's say, apart from its bigger brother, which is Rolex. So, as you know, Tudor trademark was registered in 1926, and it was registered by, at the time, it was a Swiss watchmaking company that was called Veuve de Philippe Duhutet, but it was on behalf of Hans Wilsdorf. It's only on 1936 that Wilsdorf takes again the brand into his hand and starts developing Tudor after a series of failures with other micro brands, sister brands that were part of the Rolex family. So today, from the Rolex family, we have two main brands that remain. And one is Rolex, that obviously you know about, and the other one is Tudor. Tudor target is different from Rolex in a way that they target a type of client that it's going to have to become much more accessible because watches are easy to find, and at the same time the price point of these watches are much lower than the bigger brother. So at the same time, I can say Tudor quality, it's outstanding. And it's in 2018 that they actually developed for the first time the in-house movement. So we're going to discuss a little bit about this and what this watch and this model, the Northflag, actually mean. So when you see it like this, it actually looks a lot kind of, let's say, we can say it looks a lot kind of an explorer. You know, it's the clean dial. It's a watch that from its structure and how it's placed, it reminds you of a watch that can be used and should be used for exploring or doing adventures. And this is quite interesting. So we can say that somehow it has on its DNA what it is the inspiration probably of a Rolex Explorer. So you have the 12 and the 6. You have also a power reserve. But the most interesting thing is that in this model, Tudor launched in 2018 their first in-house movement. So they actually didn't decide to put it on a Black Bay, which is a a much more known watch by watch enthusiasts, but they decided to put it on this specific model, which is different to all others, the Northflag. So the movement that this watch presented is the movement that nowadays you find in most of their Black Bay watches. So immediately after they launched it with the Northflag, they started using it in their other watches, and it's the MT5621. It's an excellent movement. I cannot say anything about it. It's cost certified. The quality, it's outstanding. It keeps time in a brilliant way, and at the same time, it's made to resist. With a silicium spring bar, the magnetic resistance is very high. I have particularly traveled a lot with this watch and have never had any problems with timekeeping or losing time. It's a 28,000 per hour beats movement with around 4 hertz, and as you can see, this is what I call my beat up watch. For me, it gives me directly and at first, as first eye, the impression that this is a watch that was made to endure and to be used without worrying about the scratches, without worrying about banging it. So when I have to travel and I have to do long trips or anything like that, this is usually my first choice. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about it. It's a watch that I love. it's very simple because at the end of the day, it's a completely stainless steel bracelet that is actually integrated to the case. So it reminds you of the 60s watches that use integrated bracelets. And that's also another interesting thing that has in its DNA. It has, for the purpose of decoration, but also of resistance, a ring made of ceramic, which is not a bezel, as you can see. So it's actually a ring that follows all the area where the bezel should be. There is no bezel, it's just stainless steel. And then you have a very clean dial, black matte dial. As you can see, depending on the light, it becomes very dark black, or it can become a little bit lighter, depends. Difference from their brother Rolex, they actually use anti-reflective coatings in the sapphire glass that protects it. And it also has a charge indicator, which I think it's sometimes it can be useful, especially in this type of watches. And I have another watch right now that also has a charge indicator, which is the Grand Seiko. And you can say, probably we can argue a lot on why a Grand Seiko should have a charge indicator, because it's a watch that it's made to be used probably in a formal place or for a party or whatever. This watch, no, you are actually going to use it maybe for something that needs for you to be hours and hours working, or days, or taking in an exploration in the Antarctic, or it's not something that I do, but that you could actually use. And having the charge indicator is pretty useful. At the same time, it presents itself with a very nice blue lume. I don't think it's chromalite than the one used in Rolex, because that's patented by them, but it's of excellent quality, and as you can see, it glows immediately. I have used this watch in conditions in which the light was almost none, and even without charging it or having it exposed to the sun, I was able to see the time. And I think this is something very important. The other interesting thing that I want to show you, so this is the clasp, the closure of the clasp. I think Tudor quality in the clasp, it's paragonable probably with Rolex. It's of high standard. It closes very well with a smooth swift. As you can see, it has ceramic bearings inside, so it's quite resistant and also comfortable. The steel that it's used is very comfortable, and how the bracelet move. As you can see, it has a lot of scratches I have done in time, and I like to think about them like they are scars of the adventures that I had with this watch. So this is the most interesting thing that I also love about this watch. The Rolex family, or even the Tudor family, they tend not to show you the mechanism. And this is something that I don't like, because I rather have a look at the mechanism, something that I personally enjoy with my watches. And having the opportunity to own a Tudor that presents to the world the first in-house movement, and at the same time having this in-house movement open so that I can actually admire its beauty, how the bridge has been built to resist even strong bangs, and how it presents itself. I think this is really, really great. My Tudor Black Bay doesn't have this. It's a closed back. I am not able to see the movement, even if I know it's the same. So I think this is something really nice, and it's a really nice touch. One of the reasons that I decided to own this watch. But apart from that, I really like the aesthetics, and I think it's not fair to this watch. The under recognition that it has from the watch community, obviously in terms of taste and what we like or what we don't like, we can argue hours and hours, and that's fine. But I think this is a very unique and very nice watch, and maybe one of the best works that has passed under the carpet of Tudor for the last 10 years. Launching a new in-house movement, becoming more independent from its bigger brother, having the possibility also to present itself with a design that it's unique and it's recognizable, and you will not find in another watch brand. I think this is interesting, and at the same time it has the Tudor DNA, and it's a watch that it's born for adventures and to be in use. So This is, guys, I wanted to show it to you. I wanted to have a little bit chat on that. I hope you like it. Please click a like in the video if you like it, or join my channel. For me, it's a pleasure trying to share with you my experiences, what I think about watches. If I'm forgetting anything or you need any type of information, just please click underneath. I don't like preparing elaborate reviews. I like to share what I feel about the watches and what can be useful for you. So please let me know, and we will talk very soon. See you until next time. Bye bye.